smells in Northeast PA: cold patch, landfill, and coal dust, in that order.
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Went to the Yankees game over the weekend. Got a bag of those new Cracker Jills. A little different, though. No nuts. Scotty Scheffler won the Masters. He gets $2.7 million in prize money. That's the good news. The bad news, he has to keep that hideous green blazer for an entire year. The USFL will eliminate using change to measure first downs. Okay, but what's a first down? Replied the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's 60 Minutes meets Gone in 60 Seconds. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Rock 107. Good morning. I'm Prospector. I was just going off about people who use their speakerphones in public. Vinny checking in on the Rock lines wants to add to it. What's up, buddy?
You forgot to complain about the people who turn their speakers off but still have the phone turned up so loud you can hear it anyway.
You're defeating the purpose, right?
Exactly. The point is so you and the person you're talking to hears the conversation. Not everybody around you.
You can always check in. Open mic on the Rock 107 app, a free download from your iPhone or Android where you record a message and send it right to the studio, or on the Rock lines, 1-888-ROCK 107. Rock 107. Good morning. I'm Prospector. So I spent some time in New York City. I was there recently, and I had a good time in the city, but one thing I noticed, it had a scent. You know, the city had its own distinctive scent. What was that scent? Pot. Yeah, marijuana. That's what the city of New York, Manhattan, smelled like to me. I was in Manhattan and in the Bronx, and it all just smelled like pot. And it made me wonder, what about Northeast PA? What about right here in the Valley with a Heart? What's the scent of Northeast PA? Melissa says pizza and desperation. Open mic on the Rock 107 app. What's the scent of NEPA?
Cold patch, landfill, and coal dust, in that order.
On to the Rock lines we go, looking for the scent of Northeast PA. Rock 107.
Prospector, good morning.
Good morning, man.
Not in the wintertime, but from the spring through the summer and even the fall. It smells like skunk around here.
Skunk all over Northeast PA. Sam says baby man trucks and diesel fuel. And Luke checking in on Facebook.com/Angry Prospector says the scent of NEPA? How about maybe it's Maybelline or maybe it's methamphetamine? Adam from Scranton, what's the scent of Northeast PA?
How about luscious landfill?
So you can even make that like a candle if you want, right?
Yes, I was thinking exactly like the candle shop in the Poconos.
Got another one from Open Mic on the Rock 107 app. What's the scent of NEPA?
Hey, Prospector. NEPA smells like skunk. If it's not down in the valley where skunks are running through people's yards, it's skunk weed. Wherever it is, it's skunk.
It's skunky all over NEPA, according to him. TA says a sweet bouquet of Avante cigars and Caruana chili cheeseburgers. That doesn't sound too bad, TA. Lee says pierogies. On to the Rock lines we go. What's the scent of NEPA? Rock 107.
Hey, Prospector.
Hey.
I got to say, you know what? Depending on where you're living at, I live in, like, Nanticoke, Hanover section area. Those I smell, can I say it, Rick?
Yeah, I got to beep that out. You can't be saying that on the radio. The scent of Northeast PA. Paul, check it in on Facebook.com/Angry Prospector says, lost hopes and dreams.
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
There's no way he would have made it this far in the Susquehanna River. A guy from Egypt just broke 2 world records for the longest underwater swim using a single breath. Over 250 feet using flippers and over 180 feet without flippers. Now here's the amazing part. He did it with one leg. He lost his left leg in a motorcycle accident about 6 years ago.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
I'm starting to worry about her. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. I watch an inordinate amount of news on TV in the morning. Not because I'm Mr. Informed, just because that's what I happen to have on in the background here at the station in case something happens. And on the weekends, I like to keep that same kind of habit. So on Saturday and Sunday morning, when I have the news volume up on the TV and I'm paying attention to Andy Palumbo reading the news, it's usually Valerie Smock doing the weather. Now, I don't know if you remember, but Valerie had to take a little while off during the pandemic. She kept coughing. She was having issues in the backyard. And it was to be fair, a little annoying to hear sometimes, but also you're worried about her. You know, she seems like a wonderful woman. You don't want anything to happen to her. Well, it's back. Saturday morning, I'm watching WNEP. There's Valerie in the backyard coughing, and I'm thinking, here we go again. Hopefully she's okay. Sunday morning, coughing again. I don't know if it's hay fever. I know the pollen count was up. I know I had some trouble with my allergy this weekend. I feel badly. I want her to be okay. But sometimes it's like, I can't take it anymore. I'm changing the channel. I know what you're saying. Hey, Prospector, I have that feeling every time I listen to you on the radio. I get it. Yambag, who posts his Wordle score on social media, too. If you saw it today, you'll realize I didn't do all that well. Now, if you play Wordle, are you in the camp that uses the same opening word every day? Or do you mix it up with different words or just go by feel? Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to use one of two words. But I may be changing that strategy now. I usually use loathe or resin to start my puzzle off, and then I go from there, because if I use those two words in succession, I'm nailing a lot of the major letters, you know, that RSTLNE stuff, all right? But the New York Times, who now owns Wordle, did some analysis to find the most optimal words to begin with, and they say that the best starting word for your Wordle is crane, C-R-A-N-E. Others that are good: crate, slate, slant, trace, lance, least, and trice, T-R-I-C-E. So, of course, my two starter words, loathe and resin, didn't make that list. Maybe that's why I didn't get my Wordle today. So how did they settle on crane? Where did that come from? Well, not surprisingly, they used a digital bot to optimize the results. The Times says their Wordle bot solves the 2,309 possible Wordles using the fewest number of guesses, and it starts with the word crane. That's in normal mode, though. If you're one of those self-loathing types who likes to make everything in life just a little more difficult, then the word dealt, D-E-A-L-T, is the most successful for hard mode in Wordle. Hard mode is where you have to use any revealed green or yellow letters in your future guesses. So if it comes up, you got to use it again, yellow or green, try to figure it out. Either way, if you played today and you're having trouble, no need to start with crane, slate, or trace. I'm going to give you today's Wordle because I didn't get it. I want you to, okay? So here it is. If you don't want to hear it, go la 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 for the next 10 seconds. The answer to today's Wordle is don't tell anybody I told you.
What a weekend it was at the Masters. Scotty Scheffler wins the jacket perfect for green screen pranks, the taming of a tiger, and complete crowd security compliments of a long piece of string. See you next time at the Masters.
What's a Yambag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yambag of the day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
How can anyone be this angry after eating a bunch of cheesecake? I don't get it. A 38-year-old man named Robert Dugan broke into a diner outside Philadelphia last Thursday at 4:30 or so in the morning and stole an entire cheesecake. He also took off with half a prime rib roast. But he wasn't done. 90 minutes later, he showed up at an adult toy store about a mile away called Adult World and trashed the place. He was shirtless at that point, broke the sign out front with a baseball bat, then started smashing the windows and shattered the glass front door out. He was about to go inside when a female employee who was there screamed and chased him off. He ran toward a nearby Costco, but police caught up with him. He's facing charges for multiple crimes, including felony burglary.
Nominee number 2.
Cops used to have a reputation for being a little chubby and crushing donuts day and night. Man, things have changed. A cop in Wichita Falls, Texas, was outside of a Whataburger fast food joint on Tuesday last week and was worried about how many calories were in their honey butter chicken biscuit. The answer, by the way, 755. The lobby was closed, so they walked up to the drive-thru menu to check that out, and that's when they smelled the strong odor of marijuana coming from one of the cars in line. They pulled the car over as it was leaving the drive-thru, and a 17-year-old boy was behind the wheel. The cop walked up and asked how much weed he had in his car, at which point the kid said, "This much," and held up the joint he was still burning. Turned out he also had a gun under the driver's seat, which may or may not be his sister's, but he wasn't allowed to have it. He's facing charges of possession of less than 2 ounces of marijuana and unlawful possession of a firearm.
And the winner is...
the guy who broke into a diner, stole an entire cheesecake, and then vandalized an adult toy store. How can you be so unhappy after having cheesecake? I don't get it. You're the Yambag of the day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yambag of the Week competition. Stay tuned for all of the nominees for Prospector's Yambag of the Day, weekday mornings right here on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.